Well, a 5-goal thriller in Newcastle as Newcastle hosted West Ham in what I call the Shaka Hislop Classico, because Shaka, that was your two former clubs, two clubs that I know you hold dear to your heart, and they did not disappoint. Obviously, both of them fighting for two very different things. Newcastle trying to stay as far away from the relegation zone as possible, and West Ham now hoping for a Champions League spot, Shaka. But Newcastle, the way it started, the fight back in the end, how crazy was that game?
It was absolutely crazy. This was a game for the neutrals. It wasn't a game for Newcastle fans or West Ham fans, but it was one for the neutrals, and had you pulling your hair out pretty much from beginning to end. And full disclosure here, Alexis, both these clubs are former teams of mine, but I'm really not sure who was rooting for in this one, despite the Newcastle crest over my shoulder there. But if you're Newcastle, here's the frustrations. You go 2 up, and then all of a sudden you revert to what has been your norm for 99% of the season. Just sit back and defend. And you invite pressure from 10-man West Ham that almost costs you 2 points. From a West Ham perspective, I'm a little bit more sympathetic. I think you saw the mistake from Dawson, who's been outstanding this season, own goal from Ogbonna, who's been outstanding this season, and then that glaring error from Fabianski to bring the second Newcastle goal. Fabianski has been outstanding, not just this season, but for some time. So it's easier to put this game and those errors down to just, it's one of those days.
Yeah.
So for me, the talking point is about Newcastle. It's about Newcastle making the most of those errors. It's about Newcastle reverting to that rather depressing defensive norm, but somehow still finding a way back into it, or a way to get all 3 points. They're now, I think this will do Newcastle well, not just well. I think they're safe. This all but puts a lid on that. But it just leaves you with recognizing how much work there's still to be done up in the Northeast.
And then let's talk about West Ham, I suppose, because now, like you said, it probably puts a lid on the fact that Newcastle will indeed be safe this Premier League season. But West Ham, they're not settling just for that. They do want a Champions League spot now. But Chelsea are breathing down their backs, and they do have Chelsea coming up next week. As you said, probably now without Craig Dawson after that red card. And then they also do have Everton to come too. So, Shaka, what do you expect here? Is that Champions League spot dream probably becoming a bit more of a reach now for West Ham?
But it always has been a reach, in all honesty. Even with Newcastle flirting in the top 4 and then being in the top 4, it always feels as like a little bit of a reach. And maybe that's just the cynical West Ham fan in me. So, but a few weeks ago, one of our producers asked me to do this full table of all the games that remain for the top 6, to win, lose, draw for all the remaining schedules, and see what that meant for the end of the season. Somehow it worked out that West Ham would finish top 4. But I had West Ham as beating Newcastle, but losing to Leicester. So maybe there's a straight swap there, and so that those two just kind of play off against each other. I did have West Ham as beating Chelsea. And my reason for that is the games that Chelsea have coming up. FA Cup semi-final, the Champions League to follow soon after. West Ham Chelsea is a big game for West Ham. I'm not sure that Chelsea as a club or their fans feel anywhere like the same. So right now, I'm still leaning West Ham to beat Chelsea. That could be the decider as to who finishes top 4.
I'm finally still on West Ham just to wrap, because we can't talk about West Ham without talking about a man like Jesse Lingard, Shaka. He got the penalty today, but other than that, you probably would have thought you would have seen a bit more from J-Lings in this one. What did you think of his performance today?
Well, like you say, okay, on the score sheet, very well taken penalty, you have to say. But and this is not just a criticism of Jesse Lingard. I just felt that West Ham did not equip themselves anywhere like I was expecting them to. early on, I'm not sure if they were just terrified of Saint-Maximin and what he had to offer in terms of his pace, his own directness. But it just felt like West Ham sat a little bit deeper, and their midfield didn't join in the attack as quickly as they normally do. They just sat a little bit in front of the back four, and it's only when West Ham had comfortable and prolonged possession in the Newcastle half that you saw the West Ham midfielders all joining in. Maybe again, it's part Saint-Maximin, it's part you're just away from home and you have to play your way into a game, soak up pressure in the first 20 minutes, as the old cliche goes. And then the error from Dawson and the opening goal, and that changed everything. So not just Jesse Lingard, a lot of people at West Ham, I think, need to have a look at themselves. And maybe that's a little bit harsh, but nobody had a great day. Nobody had a great day, and some of the most reliable in West Ham's dressing room had awful days. So as a team, you just put it down to one of those days. You got the 3 points against Leicester. That maybe gives you a little bit of wiggle room in terms of losing this game against Newcastle.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.